Doctor Strange. We watched it yesterday, and first off, I'm going to preface this whole conversation with the fact that we went to a late show, and I'm very much a morning person, and had a hard time staying awake through Doctor Strange, so you might have to take me through it a little bit. So basically, Benedict Cumberbatch plays Dr. Stephen Strange. He's a world-renowned neurosurgeon.
Yes.
Very good show-offy kind of, bad boy surgeon, if that's such a thing.
It's honestly, like, the general sentiment of it is, what if Dr. Gregory House got magic powers?
On some of the reviews that I had seen on Doctor Strange, a lot of people made that comparison. He's basically Dr. House. And he does have kind of an arrogance about him. In fact, it's called out quite a bit by the Ancient One. Who is lovingly portrayed by Tilda Swinton. And
I think she did a great job.
Yeah, and first of all, ever since I saw Snowpiercer, did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
I was just like, this Tilda Swinton chick is awesome.
Yeah. Everything I've ever seen her in, I've enjoyed.
So whenever I heard that they cast her as the Ancient One, I was pretty excited. Now, I am not like the biggest Doctor Strange aficionado.
Of course not. Neither am I.
Right, so it didn't bother me about that. I know a lot of diehards get a little upset when things are quote-unquote whitewashed or changed as far as gender and everything goes, but it didn't affect me at all, so it didn't really affect my enjoyment of the film any less. Now, it kind of starts off with all that like Inception-like building, twisting kind of stuff going on, so that was pretty cool. A lot of good visual effects.
Oh yeah,
I guess. Can take it away, Chris, because I don't have a lot that I can say about it because it's kind of, I just remember it in flashes.
Yeah, you were telling me that you almost started to nod off a little bit towards the end. I did
nod off a few times, and it's like I'm just trying to stay awake, but you're in that kind of in-between state where it's kind of just really hard to follow what's going on.
I watched a movie on HBO the other night that I did that with. Like, I watched the first half hour, 45 minutes of it, and then I started to nod off, and I would catch little bits and pieces of the middle.
Close my eyes while they're talking.
And then I woke up again, like, fully woke up in, like, the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Right, so what did you think of the movie?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the heck out of it. The visuals, were pretty stunning. I don't know that we needed to have seen it in 3D. Because while the spectacle of the visuals was awesome, I don't think that it was necessary to see in 3D. Because, like, nothing in those visuals was still, like, popping out at you at all.
Right.
Seeing it on the big screen alone, I think, would have been enough.
I think I kind of agree on that. I tend to go to 3D movies if it's available in 3D, because if I'm going to leave the house to go see a movie, I want to have an experience that I can't have at home.
Yeah.
That's kind of my philosophy on 3D movies. So that's why I'm kind of glad that I did this. So how did you...
I would have preferred to see it like in 2D, but in IMAX.
Right.
So the screen itself would have been massive. It would have been all I could see.
I would prefer to see more 3D movies the way that the Hobbit trilogy was done, in the high frame rate.
Yeah.
Did you happen to catch any of those?
I didn't see any of those in 3D.
Right. Well, in the first Hobbit movie, at least, I know that they put them out where it was 3D, but it was also select theaters would do it in this super high frame rate, which basically kind of almost made it look like it was shot on video.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. But whenever I saw it, that was to 3D that I had ever seen in the movie theater. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of those Hobbit movies. I think they were a little overkill.
Yeah.
But with the high frame rate, it was like you're right there.
Yeah.
So I would like to see more things like that. And I think the 3D technology still isn't as good as it could be. You know what I'm saying? Because while it's 3D, it's like you have a 2D layer in front of another 2D layer in front of another 2D layer.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it feels to me. And hopefully someday that technology will get there to where it actually looks like we are like,
Yeah, where you could reach out and theoretically touch something.
But high frame rate was the closest.
Yeah, and I can fully agree with that, because already watching a high frame rate movie, because I didn't see the Hobbit movies in 3D, but I did see them with that higher frame rate.
Right. I had to drive to another town
Yeah.
to go see it in that specific theater that
Yeah,
I played it.
but watching a movie like that, it kind of makes it seem already, even in 2D, like you're in the room. So seeing that movie, high frame rate in 3D, you're almost legitimately in the room. And that's kind of mind-blowing. But it reminded me a little bit of Avatar, which is a terrible movie.
Are you talking about Doctor Strange?
No,
Or
the
Hobbit?
3D
Oh,
the 3D
okay.
things.
Go on.
Reminded, like, the best movie that I ever saw in 3D was Avatar.
But it wasn't the best movie.
No,
you
it's a
ever saw.
terrible movie. It's a terrible movie, but it was the best movie that I'd ever seen it in 3D, because there were moments, especially, with all the, the colors in that world, and the way that they did the 3D, because it was shot to be seen in 3D.
Right.
So a lot of the visual effects were in your face
Yeah.
during the entirety of that movie.
Never saw it in 3D.
Yeah, see, I did, and I'm glad that I saw it in 3D, because if I had seen it in 2D, I would have just been like, this is a terrible movie. Why did anyone ever think this was going to be a good idea?
Well, back to Doctor Strange. So Benedict Cumberbatch, I thought that, being a fan of Sherlock and other works of his, I thought it would be weird to see him or hear him use an American accent, but that kind of went away real quick. He's a great actor, and I think that just kind of shows it. Now
I feel
it kind of feels like this is like they're kind of setting Doctor Strange up to almost be a replacement Tony Stark in the Marvel universe. What do you think about that? Because we know that Robert Downey Jr. isn't going to do it forever,
right?
And they're going to
And
need
I
one
think
of those
he's only
leading man
contracted-
characters.
Yeah, and I think he's only contracted through the end of Infinity Wars.
What do you think a scene like between Doctor Strange and Tony Stark would even be like? Because they're both very similar characters, not in superpowers or profession, but in like attitude, right? Because they're both kind of very like alpha male, very sarcastic, condescending characters. So I would love to see like a dialogue between the two of them. And hey, you know what? Get Rocket Raccoon, Doctor Strange, and Tony Stark in a room together, and just
See who
let
kills
the magic happen.
See who kills each other the first.
I think that would be great. So visually, it's very far apart from really anything we've seen in a Marvel movie.
Oh yeah,
very like mind-bendy. Just that scene at the very beginning. Well, not at the very beginning, but when he goes to learn from the Ancient One, and she
the
kind of
open your eye thing.
right, and kind of pushes him through this whole, the whole multiverse.
Yep.
And now that this multiverse is established within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it feels like we can have a lot more like one-off multiverse stories.
Potentially.
Marvel Zombies, maybe.
Ooh.
Could you
Deadpool
imagine?
kills the Marvel universe?
Well, I don't know if we'll see that anytime soon. But yeah, Doctor Strange was, from what I remember of it, it was very cool. Now, and this might be spoiler territory if you haven't seen it yet, but did I hear correctly that the Ancient One died?
Yes.
Okay, how did she die? Because I think that's one of the parts my eyes were closed.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember now.
It's like we just saw it less
I
than
know.
24 hours ago.
I know. She got stabbed by the bad guy.
Yeah. So how did your boy Mads Mikkelsen do? Because
Oh,
he didn't
he was
really,
great.
because he didn't really captivate me hardly at all.
Did you?
He seemed very generic as far as a bad guy. In fact, what's his name? Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah.
The dude from Serenity.
Yeah.
As Mordo. Obviously, they're setting him up to be the next villain in the Doctor Strange universe.
Spoiler alert, bro.
Well, it's okay. We've already given
Yeah,
the
we already.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, okay, fair
They're
enough.
setting him up to be the next villain. I enjoyed his character a lot more than Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Yeah, and that's fair, but
And they didn't really go into a whole lot of his backstory that I recall as far as Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I was about to say they did a fair amount into his backstory and his motivations, which I really enjoyed. When the London branch gets attacked and Doctor Strange gets knocked into the New York branch,
Right.
and he shows up there and attacks it, and Strange gets him locked up into this BDSM contraption or something, and
Yeah,
they talk,
okay. Yeah,
and
I
they
remember
talk, and Mads Mikkelsen's like, the Ancient One is lying to you, and then like lays out all of the reasons that he's doing
He's like,
what he's
look at
doing.
all these emails that we found that the Ancient One thought she deleted. Shows that she's drawing power from Dormammu's dimension.
Now, if the Hillary Clinton email leaks had something like that in them, it might be kind of relevant.
Well, apparently, and this is a little off topic, but some of the Donald Trump people on Reddit are trying to say that some things in the emails are code for like this child sex satanic cult thing. It's getting like ridiculous, but that's neither here
yeah,
nor
no,
there.
that is departing entirely from Doctor Strange, but it is still funny. That's still funny.
But okay, so Doctor Strange is Bernie Sanders, the Ancient One is Hillary Clinton, and Mads Mikkelsen's character is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, a metaphor for what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very timely. They picked a great time to release this movie.
Right before election, the
Yeah.
week before the election. Who knows?
It's all a conspiracy, man. It's all a media conspiracy.
WikiLeaks, dude. So I have one gripe about the movie. I think that the whole sentient cape thing is a little corny.
Yeah, it is, but I still liked it. It was still a good little bit of levity.
From what I have read about Doctor Strange is the cloak of levitation does have a certain level of sentience, but it was played up to much more comical effect in the movie than it was in the comic book.
No, and I feel like they felt like they needed some more levity in the movie itself, because it is kind of a very somber movie for the most part.
Well, when they first announced the movie, and the director, he comes from a horror background, so I was more expecting kind of a thriller type movie than the action movie that we got. And it's very much an origin story, and I think that once we get, now that we're past this part of Doctor Strange, once we see him more in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and maybe in another movie, then I might enjoy those a little more, because it just seemed kind of like he fell into this thing and all of a sudden now he's got these people that he's fighting against. All of a sudden now he has these principles that he's fighting for, and it just didn't seem like, I mean, it just, to me, the stakes weren't very high in this movie.
You know,
and I wasn't as invested in it as I could have been, like some other movies.
I do feel like the stakes not being high is not,
it's eye candy for sure.
Oh yeah, it's very much eye candy. But I feel like the stakes not being high is an understatement,
right?
Or an oversimplification, because the entire world could have been engulfed into the, well, I forget, the negative zone, or whatever.
But nobody even knew it. But that's kind of one of the things that I liked about how they kind of explain away how no one knows about the whole mystical side of the Marvel universe, is because they can cast these mirror dimensions to where no one sees it. So like all these people are having these crazy battles, but they're all within this dimension that you don't see.
Yeah.
So no one, like, it could be happening right now in this very room. You never know. The Ancient One could be fighting Mads Mikkelsen's character's name. I keep forgetting. It's
Caecilius, I think was his name.
Caecilius or something. Christ, I don't know. The whole movie was a blur to me, and it's really weird because I'm sitting there all day today, knowing that we're going to do this podcast, knowing that we're going to talk about Doctor Strange, and I'm like, I don't remember a whole lot about
That's
it.
That's kind of why I initially was thinking, I'm going to see this twice. I'm going to see it with my girlfriend on Friday or Saturday, and then go again on Sunday before we record the show.
I should have just went today.
Yeah.
Going to movies late at night is a bad deal for me.
Yeah.
But hey, you'll live and learn. And I'll definitely watch it again. I think it's a movie that deserves another viewing, especially one with, you know, more of my undivided attention.
Yeah.
To it. So go see it if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, let us know what you think in the comments.